Thanks so much for watching. Dan Walsh here, and welcome to episode 6, the final episode of my free series of YouTube tutorials for the tunes in my latest book, O'Neill's Tunes for Clawhammer Banjo. So all the tabs are available in that book, which is available exclusively on Amazon. Link in the description below. And this is the last, as I say, of the free tutorials, but I will be posting more on my Patreon page. So if you want to become a patron, you'll be able to have access to the rest of my tutorials, as well as a host of other tutorials not related to this Irish book. So that link is below as well. But yes, this is the last of the free ones, and it's the Contradiction Reel, which is one of my favourite tunes. Classic reel. Bit of a beast of a tune, 4 parts, and it features this tuning, which I think I've invented, unless someone's done it without me knowing. This is a new A major tuning. So one of the issues that I've often found with reels is if fiddle players are playing reels in A, what we often do is put the capo on the 2nd fret and just play in G, and then obviously the capo makes us in line with the fiddle. The problem with that is there are a few tunes, this one included, where basically we run out of notes. So if we're playing in the conventional octave where we play, so down at this range of the banjo, we'll suddenly find that we've run out of notes at the bottom. And there's kind of 2 solutions to that without retuning. One of them is to transpose the whole thing up an octave, so you mean you're playing everything high, which can sound pretty cool, but sometimes it can sound just a bit too high, and also it's really hard as well, because you have to play everything up here. The second option is to kind of, if it's 1 or 2 notes, you can maybe not play them or play a different note, or play that 1 note in the wrong octave and hope that it works. I've got a few like that. But this particular tune, the Contradiction Reel, that didn't work. Basically, I put the capo on the 2nd fret, tried to play it in G tuning as normal, but the note at the bottom, that note there, which is a D, if your capo is on, your bottom string is an E, effectively, because you've got the capo on there. So I kind of didn't really have a way to do it. So I thought, well, I'll just tune the bottom string down. That'll make it dead easy. And believe me, I tried many different combinations of things, and this is what I arrived at, which is basically kind of an open A major tuning, sort of. So your 3rd string and your 5th string, which are normally G, they're both going to go up to A. So you're going to tune your 3rd string up to A, and your 5th string, either tune it up to A or use a 5th string capo or a spike if you've got one of those. Then your 4th string is going to go down to C sharp from D, so just a small way down. Your 2nd string is B, so that's the same as G tuning. I did try tuning that up to C sharp as well, but I ended up with a lot of leaping around the fretboard, so I tuned that to B. And then your 1st string is going to go up to E. So you end up with this rather nice sounding tuning. And this is what we play the Contradiction Reel in. So here we go. Let's go for it. So at the very beginning, as per usual, if you've been tuning into these tutorials, the first note is like an upbeat. So this is the last quaver of a kind of what's called an anacrusis. So it's like a mini bar before the first proper bar kicks in. So you would count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you're into bar 1. So that note is a D, which no it isn't, it's an E, which is your 1st string in this tuning. That's on 4 and. So really, if you can, it's ideal if you can play that actually with your thumb, which I know seems a bit weird playing the 1st string with your thumb, but in line with the usual rule of playing reels or anything in 4/4 on Clawhammer Banjo, we usually try and keep to the MT, MT, MT rule. M standing for middle finger or index finger if that's your playing finger, and T for thumb. Or a left-hand slur can be substituted for a thumb. So if we're on an and, which we are here, 4 and, really it's ideal if that can be with your thumb, so you can play the 1st note of the 1st real bar with your finger. If you can't, don't worry too much. It will be fine if you play them both with your finger. You'll just have to sort of rush it a little bit. But if you can get that with your thumb, I'd really recommend it. So the 1st note of the 1st bar proper is your 2nd fret of the 2nd string, which is C sharp. And I'm going to play that with my 2nd finger because we're in 1st position. In case you're not sure what that means, 1st position means your 1st finger plays the 1st fret, 2nd finger plays the 2nd fret, third finger plays the third fret, and so on. So we've got, that's our first note. Then we've got a triplet, and the three notes in the triplet are, the three melody notes in the triplet are that note again, C sharp, pulled off to B, and then an A, which is now your open third string. However, because I'm awkward, I've also put in a little ornament here, so that's a little grace pull-off. So again, apologies if you've been watching these tutorials, I know you've heard me say this a million times, but Irish music is littered with what are called ornaments, embellishments. The classical term is grace notes, and basically what that means is you add a little extra note to the main proper note that is so short that it doesn't have a time value of its own. It's just like a way of making the note sound slightly fancier. So that first note, instead of just being this, it's this. And what you do to create that is you put your third finger on fret 3 as well as your second finger on fret 2, and as you hit the string, immediately pull off that finger. So it kind of still sounds like one note, that note, but just a little bit fancier. So the triplet is going to go after the first beat, like that. And the third note of the triplet, you can either play it with your thumb, like I just did, or with your finger. The middle note of the triplet is a pull-off. So, or, whichever you find more comfortable. Then we're going to put our second finger on the B, which is the second fret of the third string, and you're going to drop thumb a third fret over here on the fourth string. So again, apologies for repeating myself from previous tutorials. If you've got a pair of fretted quavers, always easier to put both fingers on, ready to go, rather than playing one and then quickly trying to fret the other. Just stick them both on, it's much easier. So those are your two notes, a B and whatever the other note is, an E. Yeah, sorry, I was thrown out completely by the tuning. That's it. Then leave that finger on and play it again. And this time you're going to pull off to a first fret on the fourth string, which is your D. So you get these four notes in total. So to be honest, I actually put all three fingers on and just play, and then do a pull off at the end with that finger ready to go. Okay, so that's the first bar. Sorry, wrong finger. It's good, apart from the duff note there, sorry. That's your first bar. Second bar, we're going to play a pair of hammer-ons. So we're going to move up to second position here. So that means your second finger is going to play fret 3. You're going to play an open fourth string, hammer on the third fret, open third string, hammer on the fourth fret. Then you're going to put these two fingers on. So fret 2 on the first string, fret 3 on the second string. And we're going to do one of these rolls, drags, I've heard them called various things. Basically, you're going to play the second string and allow your finger to follow through to the first string, like that. And then the next note you're going to play with your finger again. So it's a little bit awkward, especially at speed. You have to sort of very quickly do another downstroke and play the first string, and then finally the second fret of the second string with your thumb. If that drag thing is too awkward, what you can do as well is do one of these pull-offs. So what that means is you put both these fingers on ready and use a spare left-hand finger, which would probably be your ring finger, to pick the string instead of your right hand. Oh, sorry. The only trouble with that is I find it quite hard to make that loud, so that's why I use the drag. But I say the drag, my banjo student Terry came up with that term and I think it's rather good. So that's the second bar, so we've got 2 bars so far. Then we're going to play the third bar. So the third bar starts the same as the first. We've got a second fret of the second string, and we've got the same triplet after it, like that. Now we've got a bit of a jump. This is the downside of this tuning, is we just have to jump up to fret 7 and use your little finger for that. It's much easier. And play that string, the 7th fret, and then use a spare left-hand finger to pick the 3rd string. It's called an off-string pull-off, if you haven't seen one of those. Like that. And then second string, open, hammer on the second fret. So this is what we have so far. And then the fourth bar is third fret, second string. Play that with your second finger, and you're going to play that and then use a left hand finger to pull off the first string. Again, much easier if you've got a finger waiting ready rather than playing the notes and then trying to pick the string, because you end up with that sound where you end up with an extra note that you don't want. So like that. Then second fret to fourth fret on the first string, so that's an F sharp to a G sharp. Then pull off from 5 to 2, and then first string, and then third fret second string, and that's the end of the first line. Like that. You'll be very pleased to know that now we've learnt the majority of the A part, because the next bit we play the first phrase again, essentially. And this is where it changes. So what we're going to do here, so we've got to halfway through the 7th bar of the A part. So before you played this. Whereas this time what we're actually going to do is put our first finger on fret 4 of the first string and your little finger on 7 on the 4th string as before, and we're going to go through the strings one by one using the roll, drag, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to go 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string, all the way through. So the bar will sound like this. Like that. And then for the first time ending of the tune, we're actually going to play the 5th string on beat 1, which we wouldn't normally. Normally we'd play with our finger on the beat, but because of the roll through thing, it just seemed the easiest way to do this. So the first beat of the first time ending is the 5th string with your thumb, so you've just come out of the roll. Then we're going to play the 7th fret of the 2nd string with your playing finger. Drag through to the 1st string, open, then drop thumb the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and now we're back in the right groove in terms of empty, empty, empty. So that's like that. Then we've got a classic folky same note triplet. You've heard me talk about these loads if you've been watching these tutorials. I'm really rubbish at these triplets. Basically what you do, ideally, is what I've written in the book, which is to play with your playing finger, and you play down through the string, back up again, and down again. Like that. But because I'm rubbish at it, I often cheat and do this. Which slow sounds rubbish. At speed, it hides my ineptitude. So what I do is basically play the note, hammer on the 2nd fret, and then pull off again. So you will get, which makes it sound like the same note, but it actually isn't. So if you can do the same note triplet, it's great. Then to end that first time bar, we're going to play the 3rd string and off string pull off the 1st string, and then we go back to the beginning. Second time ending of the A is exactly the same, but the last note is a G sharp on the 1st string. So what we do there instead is slightly awkward. So the second time ending of the A part is going to be, so you're going to do 2 downstrokes in a row, which at speed is quite a challenge. So what you do is you play the triplet as before. Then on beat 4, you play that 3rd string once again, and then very quickly on 4 and play the 4th fret of the 1st string, which is your G sharp. And then we're going to go into the B part. Okay, so the B part. It's a beast of a tune, this, but it's so worth it when you get it. So the B part, again, we're going to kind of flip the usual empty, empty rule and play the 5th string on beat 1. The reason for this, simply, I found it the easiest way to play the tune, basically, was to do this. So on beat 1, bear in mind at the end of the first time bar, at the end of the A part, you've just played that G sharp with your finger. So you're going to play the 5th string on beat 1, then the 3rd string on 1 and, then the same note triplet on beat 2. So the ending of the A part into the first bar of the B part goes like this. Like that. And then we're going to play our A, which is the 5th fret of the 1st string, drop thumb the 3rd string, so it's like 2 notes an octave apart. Then this note here, which is a C sharp, 4th fret of the 3rd string, pull off to the open string. Then we've got a little bit of leaping around to do on the next section. So we're going to play the 7th fret of the 4th string, so that's here, and your, which by the way is a, my mind's gone blank, sorry, G sharp, there we go. So that's G sharp on the 7th fret. You're going to play that note, off string, pull off the 2nd string, so again, have your finger ready. Then you're going to play the 3rd fret of the 4th string and then the 2nd string. Back to the 7th fret and then the 2nd string. And then back to the 3rd fret, but this time you're going to do that awkward sort of double downstroke thing. So you're going to play the 3rd fret, this is beat 4, and 4 and, you're going to play the 4th fret of the 1st string, which is your G sharp, which is going to take you back into the first phrase again. So in case that's unclear, this is how the B part should sound so far. Wrong note, sorry, let me start that again. So the 3rd bar is the same as the 1st, and then the 4th bar starts the same, so you're going to do again 7th fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then we're going to play 2nd fret of the B string, which is a C sharp, drop thumb the 3rd string, then play the 3rd string again, then play the G sharp again, once again with your finger, so you've got 2 downstrokes in a row, and that's going to take you back to that opening phrase again. So this is what we have so far in the B part. Sorry, apart from the wrong note, that's what you do there. And then the last 2 bars of the B part, again, we're going to be starting on the 5th string because we've just played that G sharp on the 1st string. So the 5th string, the G sharp again, then another downstroke with your finger to get ourselves back in the usual groove. So beat 2 is the 2nd fret of the 1st string, pull off to an open string, do those same 2 notes again, then 3 to 2 pull off on the 2nd string, so that whole bar is like that. And then you can do this next bar a variety of ways. Because we're in 2nd position, which is here, what I do here is I put my 2nd finger on fret 3 of the 4th string and my 3rd finger on fret 3 of the 2nd string, drop thumb string 2 to string 4, then get my little finger primed and go 5 to 7 slide on the 4th string, and then play the 3rd string. And then at the end of the bar, that's a dotted crotchet, that note, so that means you hold it on for beat 3 and half of beat 4, and then the last quaver in the bar, you're going to play the 4th fret of the 1st string, and then the next bar is going to start with your 5th string, which is the start of the B part again. So that's the first time ending. You go all the way through the B part again. When we get to the 2nd ending of the B part, it's exactly the same as what we just did. Oh, sorry. But on 4 and, this time, we're going to play the 5th fret of the 2nd string, which is going to take us into the C part. And you're going to play that with your thumb. So the bar will go like this. Like that. And just a reminder about those skips as I call them. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. On beat 4, if you move your hand as though you're going to play a note, even though you're not going to, just because it keeps your right hand moving, it keeps you in the groove with where you are in the bar. And it also means that you're ready to play that note with your thumb rather than having to go down to then move up again. So it just makes life a little bit easier. So that's the A and the B part. Let's go on to the considerably easier C part. So the C part, honestly, is easier, and this is the great irony of banjo and fiddle, is that on fiddle, this C part, I am told, is very, very difficult to play. Ironically, it's by far the easiest section for us banjo players, because we've got a lot of pull-offs that we can do. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the 5th fret with our first finger, and very simply, you're going to go 5 to 0 pull-off. Then 9 to 0 pull off, so use your little finger for 9. It's obviously a bit of a stretch, but... So you do that pair twice, if you see what I mean. So the first bar is... The second bar is exactly the same idea, but it's 7 and 10. Next bar, same idea, 9 and 12. And then the 4th bar is this. So the way that we do that is we do 3 to 2 pull off on the 2nd string. So that's D to C sharp. So you're going to start, again, just to reiterate, much easier if you get both fingers ready, even though they're on the same string. Play the string and then pull off to the finger that's waiting there to do the pull off. Then we're going to do a drop thumb, 2 to 3. Then you're going to play the 3rd fret of the 4th string, off string pull off the 3rd string, then play the 3rd string again. Then we're going to go back to our pull offy thing. So 5, 9, 5, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10, 9, 12, 9, 12, and then play that same thing. So essentially that's it. That's the C part. You basically do what I just did. So it's the same phrase, which is what, 4 bars. 4 times, because it's an 8-bar part, so you're going to play the whole C part, which is 8 bars, twice. So you end up with 4 times around the same 4 bars. So that is very simply what the C part is. As I say, it sounds very clever, but it's actually not very difficult. Having said that, you may have noticed in my version that I did a slightly madder sounding version. So instead of just this, I did... I can't resist. For some reason, it makes my face go weird as well. So that sounds very clever. It's actually not that difficult, to be honest. All I'm really doing there is, instead of just going, I'm going. So I'm basically hammering on as I play the string. So I'm playing the string, hammering on the note, and then doing the pull off. I'd like to point out this is strictly non-traditional. That's just something I ended up doing, and I thought it sounded good. So any sort of purists out there, I know I'm wrong. I just liked it. So yeah, so basically that's the only thing that makes that sound ever so slightly faster and madder. That's all it really is. It's just... But it's... And that's pretty much it. So that's the C part. So let's finally do the D part to finish off. Okay, so the D part is, we're in 2nd position here, so back down this end of the banjo. We're going to play the 2nd fret of the 2nd string and use the off string pull off technique to get the D, so that's that note there. What I would do here is use your 2nd finger to do that on the 2nd fret as well, so simply because the next 2 notes are 2 to 0 on that string. So it's kind of easier if your finger's just there ready, and then it just does the same thing on both the offbeats, if you see what I mean. So that's the first bar of the D part, it's just that phrase twice. And then you're going to do a pull off from 3 to 2 on the 2nd string, drop thumb strings 2 to 3, then 2nd string again and drop thumb the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and then play the note again. So third bar is the same as the first. This is a bit awkward. We've got a big jump now up to the 7th fret of the first string. So as soon as you've played that last pair of quavers, with that open string, it doesn't buy you much time, but it buys you just about enough to get all the way up here to the 7th fret. You're going to put your first finger on fret 7 of the 2nd string, and you're going to play that note followed by the 5th string. Then if you put your little finger on fret 9 of the 2nd string and your third finger on fret 9 of the 5th string. So normally in 7th position your third finger would play the 9th fret, but because we've got 2 fingers on the 9th fret, I just put them both on and we do that. Then back down to fret 5, 5 and 7, so 5 on the 1st string, 7 on the 2nd string, and then a pull off from 5 to 3 on the 2nd string. Sorry. So this is what we've got so far. So it's quite awkward, but it is doable. You could use an open string there if you prefer. I just liked the sound of the fretted note. So that you could play it that way. Then we're going to play the first bar again, and then bar what would that be? Bar 6 of the D part is slightly different from the second bar. We're going to put a triplet in here. So what we do is we play the 2nd fret of the 1st string, so that's your F sharp, hammer on the G sharp, which is the 4th fret, and then play the 5th string for your A. So 1 and that's it. And then 1st string, so E and then C sharp, so that's your 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Then we play the same as the latter half of bar 2, so that's 2nd string, drop thumb, the 3rd fret of the 4th string, then play that 4th string again. And then finally the ending, we're going to play a series of quavers here. So we've got the whole tune's a series of quavers, really, isn't it? But we're going to play the 1st string, which is an E, drop thumb your C sharp, which is your 2nd fret of the 2nd string, then 1st string and then 5th string. Then we're going to put this shape on, so that's fret 2 of the 1st string, fret 3 of the 2nd string, and we're going to play 1 2 1 5 with our right hand. 1 2 1 5, then 4th fret, so we're going to move our hand up again. 4th fret of the 1st string is a G sharp. Play that note, hammer on the 7th fret with your little finger, then open, then 4th fret, then 5th fret, pull off, then back to that shape, and then that's it. And then if you're going back to the start of the tune, you would obviously just go ahead and play from the beginning of the A part, minus the upbeat at the beginning. Or if you're finishing, you could just play an A chord like that, which in this tuning you just put your 2nd fret down on the 2nd string. That is the Contradiction. So it's a long tune and there's a lot to learn in there. So it's definitely not the easiest of my arrangements, but I think it's really fun to play, and I think this A tuning does sound really effective when you get it going. So good luck. Hope you enjoy that tune. Any more questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this series. It's been great to share these tutorials with you. If you like the stuff in the book, obviously please buy the book. It's the link is below. You can buy it on Amazon. It's got all the tabs for the tunes I've been teaching, plus many, many more. And if you like these tutorials and you'd like to see more of them, do please sign up as a patron. It'd be great to have you. I'll be posting more of the tunes from this book, as well as everything else that I post on my Patreon page. So if you're in the top tier, every month you get 2 videos on a particular area of banjo technique, and you can request topics. That's no problem at all. You also get 2 free tabs and video tutorials for each of those tabs, as well as 2 performances from me a month, and a story behind one of my songs as well. So lots of stuff on my Patreon page. You can sign up there. And that's about it from me. Thank you so much for watching. That was the Contradiction Reel. My name is Dan Walsh. Hope you're all playing lots of banjo and staying safe, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much.